Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Eatin Cheats. Because we got to eat. There's no way around it. We just has to eat. So, we're going to start with the really easy stuff. Ramen. I know, technically this isn't actually food, but it will fill the hole. It'll be ready and eatable in 5 minutes, and you got something. So, ramen. I prefer the chicken flavor myself. Personal preference. First thing we do, we must make flames. So we engage our gas canister by pushing that down, and there's no hiss. That's a goodness. I've got my old gas canister in here just trying to fry it. I might run out of flames at some point, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But you don't want to waste something you paid for. Okay, so let's get some... Come on. There we go. We've got a flame on that. Boom. We have fire on our burner. Put you there. So I've got my burner holder here because my little bitty 5-inch pan does not necessarily balance on here terribly well. Ooh. Make sure you got your Muppet. You're going to need it. So we are going to boil this water. Now since it's chicken flavor, and I like chicken flavor if it tastes like chicken, hello, but I like it way more chickeny than this is. So I picked up some chicken bouillon stuff. Piece of cake. Give it a shake, give it a whack. There's no little thing with holes. You got to be careful with this. But you just put some of that in your water to flavor the water before your noodles go in. That way your noodles are at least flavory. And then you'll add in the flavor packet they have later. So it will be extra noodly. Chickeny. You know what I mean. I like chopsticks. My hands don't, but I do. So what you do is just kind of stir it around. Make sure all that bouillon flavor is in the water. We crank that up a smidge more. So while our water is boiling with its flavor in there, what I do first, I break these bad boys. I snap them into at least 4 sections. This thing has disintegrated in the package. I checked the expiration date. It's still a year away, so I mean, it's good. I've never tried this brand before. Usually it's Top Ramen, you know. But this is what they had, so this is what I got. And it's all busted up quite nicely in there. Take out your flavor packet. Y'all don't want to be dumping that in the water. Trust me. So, take your flavor packet out. Set it aside. CCC, that must mean chicken. Yep. Okay, and this is really quite nicely busted up. Because last thing you want is to leave it in a whole block. A, it won't fit in this little bitty 5-inch pan, but B, for all we know, that's one long-ass noodle in that thing, and you put it in your mouth, and you could be doing that for a week and a half. Your cheeks are going to get tired. So, bust it up. It makes it a lot easier to eat. Much more efficient. Okay, how we doing over here? Whoops! Do not fall off. That is just rude. The other thing about chopsticks, you need 2 of them. A stick doesn't do you a lot of good if you can't stab something and get it to your mouth. You can't stab noodles. Trust me on that. It's funny just getting noodles up to your face with one of these. But, you know, if centuries of Asian people have been able to do it, so can I. And so can you. Give it a try. Just a matter of holding it correctly so you get it to work. Come on, y'all. Burl, darn it. You're not watching the pot, are you? Because a watched pot never boils. I'm ignoring it. It's like it's not even there. But hey, I'm starting to see bubbles on top, even though I'm ignoring it and it's not even there. Yeah, when you start seeing bubbles on top, it means it's boiling. It's starting to boil anyway. And yep. We got some bubbles. I'm going to toss the noodles in there. Big difference between pasta and noodles. Okay, so We have a noodly mess. And in about 3 minutes, this should be perfection. Let's see, 5, so around the 8-minute mark. Okay, so what you do is you just kind of smoosh it around a little bit. What I like to do, gotta wait till it's a little mushier, but I take the 2 of these, I stab them into a chunk and then spread them apart, and that takes the chunk and spreads it apart. So you're not left with blocks of noodles that aren't necessarily cooking in the center. So you got to move them around. You got to keep an eye on this stuff. I mean, when you're working with flames and water and things like that, you're going to have bubbles and boiling over and stuff like that. You want to prevent that. Okay, this is really, really, really starting to boil and creep toward the top. I am turning down the flame, so I just have a nice rolling boil. And that's a cheap trick. If you have your bubbles and stuff are coming right up to the edge and you don't want it boiling over, blow on it. That'll take them down right away. So that's how you control them quickly. If you're not adjusting the flame fast enough, just blow on the stuff as it gets up toward the rim, because you don't want it over the rim. You want it to stay in your pan, ideally, because that's where it's cooking and you can eat it from. If it goes over the rim, it's going to be landing down in your flames and stuck in goopy stuff. You don't want to eat that. Keep it in the pan. So you turn this up just a scotch more again now that it's under control. Let's see, we still got about a minute to go, a little more. And this stuff is definitely starting to relax. It is not the solid chunk it was when we put it in, all dry and stuff. So you want it to relax, and you want to keep busting your chunks apart if you got chunks in there. So you want fairly individual noodles. I know, you're thinking a chunk would be easier to pick up. Yes, it would. But the middle of that chunk is not going to have any chicken flavor, and it may or may not be fully cooked. If you like al dente, great. You can dente the heck out of yourselves by leaving it in a big old chunk. I'm not a dente person. I like squishy. I'm a sucker for squishy. They're starting to get there. You can tell. You can pick them up and they're sort of malleable, but they're not quite as cooperative as we'd want. So you let them keep going. Let's turn that up a scotch more. It's when you've got a right and proper boil going on for pasta and noodles and things like that. It's not going to come up over the edge. That's the important thing. But what's boiling in there is going to be going from the sides to the center. That's going to be taking your pasta and noodles with it and stirring it for you. That's what you're looking for. Let's see if we can get you a visual. There we go. See that there? How the pasta is turning into the center and stirring itself? The noodles. You know, same basic thing, but terminology, etc. That's what you want. So as soon as it gets to that point, and they're all cooperative and rolling and boiling, you know you're close. So you just kind of make sure that you got the consistency on your chopsticks that you're looking for. It's still like a degree too dente, but almost there. Ugh. Yep, timing wise, I mean, it says 3.5 minutes. I usually go 4 because I'm just a badass that way. But they are looking good. That's the consistency I'm looking for. Something that'll slide off my chopstick, which seems counterintuitive, but that's how I like it. So you turn off your flame. Boom. You unhook your gas fuel source. Bunk. There. Now that bad boy ain't going to burn up nothing on its own. So now we got a bunch of water in here. Me, I don't like mine real watery. I'm not looking for soup. I'm looking for noodles. So I drain off some of that water. Apply Muppet. Hi. Hello. Nice to see you. I'm in the neighborhood. Figure I'd help. And grab a strainer. Remember that cute little bad boy I showed you? That's why you need it, for this stuff. And, you know, anytime you're boiling pasta or something, you're going to have liquids you don't want. Now, at first, I would just put this in there, hold it real tight, and pour, and then, you know, this would keep the pasta noodles in there, and the water would come out. Then I'd have schmutz all around it. Boy, I've made it less schmutzier. I just start pouring the pasta into the strainer. When I get the kind of water level I want, I pour all the extra back. That's still a little watery. Okay. You still need some water in there, but not bazut loads. Remove the Muppet. Let me show you here. Okay, so as you can see, I've got some water. It's not the water level up to here like it was. It is down. It is below the noodles. That's what I'm going for. Just some water. Oh, Dad. So the next thing you do, a handy little flavor packet that you took out and did not put into the boiling water because you're smarter than that. You open it. Me, I don't open squadouche. I cut. You cut it. There we go. Open carefully. Make sure it's not all in a gob of some kind, but it's nice and powdery. Shake it across your noodles, trying to do it somewhat evenly. Empty that bad boy, because that's where all the flavor is. Throw away your trash. Voila. Take these chopsticks and start stirring around your flavor into your noodles and your water. So the water is going to be holding all this flavor because it's not going to stay on your noodles. It just doesn't. But it's also going to help hold in some heat. So yeah, get it all smushed around and distributed so you don't have a bunch of chicken flavor on one mouthful and nothing on another. You want it good and blended. Now my sister Jackie is a foodie. She watches that foodie porn on TV all the time. Her recommendation, start up the fire again and just let it sit for a minute or two in all this flavorful sauce, and that'll flavor it up more. Me, I'm conserving. Like she's in an apartment. She's just got, you turn it on, boom, you got it. I gotta pay for this crap. So I content myself with this step. I'm done. It's ready to eat. Grab your Muppet again, because this handle is going to be a hot little mofo. And you get your big old noodle bowl. Apparently you have to eat it out of a big bowl. I don't know. It does make it handy. So, Muppet your pan. Dump it in your bowl carefully. You don't want to sploop that stuff everywhere. It's hot. You might be wearing shorts like I am. That would sucketh much. Okay. Now, that's not going anywhere. It's too hot to eat for a couple more seconds, so while you're waiting, clean out your pan. Give it a good spray, especially where you just dump stuff out. It's going to be hanging out on the edge. And just move anything you see down into the bottom. And you can adjust these to have a direct spray or like a fire hose. If you need that to get things to move, use it. Multifunctional. But when you're done, close it down because it spits. Not cool. Don't want to be getting my chopstick box all nasty. There we go. Okay, so we have a pan that has been rinsed and is soaking. Yep, that's good enough. Still hot, just so you know. Hence the Muppets. Make sure you get Muppets. They're so important. And if you have nobody to talk to, you can work on your ventriloquist act. I had a really great one planned during COVID because you got the masks on. You can't tell they're talking. Oh my gosh, I could have said anything and looked like a genius. But no, nobody's wearing masks anymore. So I'm just going to eat. Get a napkin because, oh my gosh, yeah, you're going to make yourself a little messy. You get a noodle on you, you'll dribble a little bit, something. It's going to happen. So you have yourself one bodacious little tummy filler here. I'm not saying it's a meal. I'm not saying it's actually food. I'm saying I just made that in no time and I can eat it now. It's been 15 minutes total. And you got food. You got something to put in your guts. So I am going to enjoy my food and catch you kids down the road. Shutterbug.